2, 3. Tim Kreitz. Yeehaw! This is the Texas Hillbillies. The Texas Hillbillies. Yeehaw! Coming at you from San Antonio, Texas. We got Jethro and Vash. That's right. We gonna go see my friend Tim Kreitz over in Northwest Texas. Hey Tim, coming over. Hope you got some dinner on. We're gonna talk about solar. Hell yeah, we going out there to Tim's house. Got the solar panel on the truck. Yes, we do. Well, now, ooh, look at Tim Kreitz's house. Oh my goodness, that is a huge house. It's got a lot of motorcycles in there.
Let's take them back to their
hey
home
Tim,
and see how they'll
maybe we better go back and find out how we got here in this first place about Texas Solar.
Before he growed up. Granny, somebody open the door.
Oh, I haven't time. There's no need to.
What's a petroleum?
I don't know. A petroleum company.
What's a petroleum?
Hey Tim,
Some feller Ellie found nosing around.
some fella early found said his name was Tim Kreitz.
They're fellas from the petroleum company.
Petroleum?
What's a petroleum?
What's a
I don't
petroleum?
know. He asked me if he could do some wildcatting down by the slough. I said,
He said his name was
"Yourself,
Tim.
we're glad
He said his name was Tim Kreitz, and he wanted to do some wildcatting.
The last on him, there ain't no wildcats down there at that
You know
slough.
wildcats down there? We're going to teach this boy about solar. He coming in Texas Hill Country. Hey boy. Oh man, my name's Tim
Here's
Kreitz.
the clampet plate.
Here's the Vash place. And we need solar energy here. What you doing here?
Mr. Clampett.
Mr. Vash, my name's Tim Kreitz, and I like to tell you that solar's bullshit. Well, now Tim, son, I don't know if you was joking in that show the other day when you said solar was bullshit, but let me give you a little hill country education.
Mr. Clampett, you see,
No. You see,
you're a very rich man.
you're a very rich man. What do you mean? You got
How
a
big a
resource.
rock did you bean him with?
No bigger than a hedge apple.
Oh boy, a hedge apple. Well, now you see, you're rich because Texas has solar. Okay, what we have here, let's look at the solar is a publicly released image from National Renewable Energy Lab. This is the solar map of the United States. Here's where they don't get a lot of solar. And they also have a lot of snow issues, freezing issues, but most of your cold use is in these veins right here. Around here, coal power production, and down in here. So if we look at Texas itself, this area here is kind of, you could put solar here, but it's generally a little too hot. Solar panels do not perform well in super hot heat. The amps drop down really low. We're talking they drop down to 20-25% in this area. I mean, you could put solar there, but you're going to have some times where it's not going to perform really poorly, especially in hot conditions. This little area here, this is your oil field, this gold mine. There's a little strip where it's a lot of sun, but it's still cool. Keeps the panels a little cooler. So anywhere in here, and we have down in San Antonio, we actually have pretty good sun right here. So this is not like 100% accurate map. This is just generalization, basically. But right here, we have solar plants, and we're using advanced panels, high watt panels. So that's why the percentage, when I said 10%, San Antonio is close to 10%, just because we have 6 or 7 projects already. We're kind of the early adopters, and probably one of the biggest grids because of our military bases and stuff. But out here is where the new plants are being built, and then they're using high voltage, I believe AC to come in here. Well, things we could do, we could build, what I like to see is build high voltage DC or ultra high voltage DC uh, line and feed over here where the coal plants are. Come out and feed this grid. We can sell data here and the money can come back to Texas. It could also go out this way or that way. I believe the latest ultra high voltage lines in China at 1,100 kilovolts DC, which is called ultra high voltage DC. It can go 3,000 kilometers. It's like what, 1,800 miles, something like that. I think I looked it up the other day. We can go. We could put a line all the way up here if we wanted to. And it's like basically like that's why I started off with the Beverly Hillbillies, because it's like exporting. This is an oil field basically, almost. Enough power for us and to export to even like places where they're not getting the solar. So that's basically. I would love to see us export some power, even though put it into underground conduit, so it's not a real ugly towers, but they can be put onto existing towers if you can get one over there. And silicon panels themselves, their theoretical maximum is 29%. Right now, they're like the expensive panels. You can get them between 22, 20 something, 22%, something like that. Okay, let's take a look at LG's solar panels, just for a comparison. These are what you can buy today. So we're looking at today's top technology. So even if there was no technological advances past today, we can power the whole planet with the panels if we just come up with storage for night and bad weather. So on my roof, I have the 72 cell commercial panels, and we can see here they've gotten up to 390 watts. Mine are 295. They can get 390. So you or a company or a person could order these today and get this module efficiency rating of 18, which the maximum of a silicon cell is theoretically 29. So in the future we could see up to 29 with silicon. If they want to bring in other materials, they might do that, because there's a lot of research on other materials. But since there's a heck of a lot more silicon than oil and natural gas and stuff, coal, there's more of it. So in other words, there's always going to be factories long after you and I are gone, Tim, making these things, right? And look at the wattage on these. Now, on that map I looked at, hey, where you live, you get more solar than I do. If you zeroed out your bill to where you're just paying the internet connection fee, like less than $20 a month typically right now, you could use that budget for a nice classic motorcycle budget, right? We could even ship out some SCMM, make a high voltage line just out here to the SCMM. So, and then take a bullet train powered off the solar, right? And have a big party on the bullet train with a bar and everything in there and all of our crazy friends. So 60 cell is what you would buy normally for a house. And we can see these are really good efficiency now today. We're going to look at LG's old panels. There's like 13% efficiency to 60. So this is only a few years ago. This is kind of what I have on I have 14.5%, I think, on the closeout panels that I got. So mine would be closer to this lower power stuff. We can see that's the panel. Even if we had only make these panels, they can power the whole planet with storage. So we're already way past that. That's like when we hit the 14% was like a magic sweet spot when we passed this or got to here or better. And then $1 a watt. Now we're like at 30 cents a watt for utility grade purchases of bulk panels, and for the home you're about 50 cents a watt. So we've hit a break-even point or cheaper than using hydrocarbons, which I don't call them fossil fuels because that's BS. they're not fossil fuels. There was not enough dinosaurs in plants. Look at how many gallons we pump every day. It's abiotic. It's part of just whatever people want to believe, the creationism or instantaneous science or just science, pure scientists. It's there, right? These elements. So there's lots of hydrocarbons. So we're gonna have a mix, and in Texas, I support a mix of everything. So why don't we use everything? I wanted to show you this, Tim. This is right solar powered desalination. This is going up in Middle East, but there's a lot of these in different parts of the world. If we build these here in Texas using the solar and wind connectivity only, we can produce tons of fresh water. And guess what we can do with that? We can do agriculture. We can do aquaculture, fish, shrimp, tilapia, and shrimp when we have the perfect zone down here, climate zone, to do aquaculture, shrimp, inland shrimping, and tilapia. Man, we can make tons of that stuff. We can do prawns, which are like langostino shrimp. They're really good with some garlic and butter. We can do lots of shrimp. We Vash Gump Shrimp Company, all on the solar. We could even, we're in Midland, you guys put some solar out here, you could probably, we could build a saltwater line, right? Pull saltwater over here and make fresh water out here, or make the fresh water here and pump it, pump it out, and then make, irrigation fields for crops. So as you could see the benefits, and not having to have the EPA come in and check your chemical. A farmer can not have to be hassled so much over, uh, you know, leaking fluids and oil storage and this, that, and the other environmental issues, right? So that's, we could also do things like elevate the solar panels up. That's why I was a little taken back when you were like saying it was BS. I didn't know how serious you were about that. I know that it's only 1%. Okay, so it's like a pipe dream right now. However, 1% is a lot, and as when that percentage comes up, it's going to be going higher and higher. To eventually, solar and wind will obviously be the most dominant producers of power, and then we're going to have lots of storage. So storage will go into. All right, Tim Kreitz. So let's see. Now I'm going to tell you that's okay. I was doing the hill country accent. We're doing a hill country accent for Tim Kreitz, or is that West Texas? Now look here, son. I'm gonna school you on this thing called a battery. What we do, this is just I'm just playing around, of course. What we're doing is taking some of that fancy solar energy out there in West Texas. We're gonna steal it, sell it, and keep the money. But y'all should have done it yourselves. But now you're gonna have us big city folk come out there and take it from y'all. But don't tell them I said that. Now we're gonna get y'all solar. On a serious note here, look at what we have here. We have lithium. There's a lot of lithium out in Chile. I don't know environmentally how good it would be for us to. I don't think we're going to completely use lithium ion, for our storage, but there is some purpose for it. Like these power ancillary service for grid, utility grid. These are like one. I don't know how. I don't know the capacity. I was going to say. I'm not throw out a number, but you can use these in hospitals, fire, emergency police, uh, pumping stations, water stations at night. Now I know San Antonio's CPS Power, they are experimenting with some of these large lithium. They have them out at the solar field, so they are charging them and then drawing down some juice at night. It's more experimental, I believe, at this stage, but they actually are operational and they are delivering current to the customer at night from the solar arrays located at our waste storage facilities. So we have a dump on the east side, and it's where our sewage goes. And so there's a lot of fields out there where people didn't want to live because it smelled like pooper doopers, right? Well, it's covered it with panels, man. and get some good power. It's an example of practical, and that's one reason why San Antonio has a high percentage. And they were buying them from Mission Solar, the panels, but the city, I guess, decided they were you know at the limit. They didn't want to cut the rates, right? So they stopped buying it, and then the Mission Solar, the part that makes the cells, went bankrupt. But what they did was they kept the factory open by buying cells from overseas right now. So that you can, and now they also open it up to consumers. So people like you and me could buy 60 cell panels from them if you wanted to. And these can go in your house. I wish I had money to buy one of these bad boys for my house. A rack like this, might see something like this in the future uh, for storage at night. So that'll give you a little bit more night capability. Now, the other thing I wanted to show you is a flywheel technology, and I'll give links to all these. But they're having these in New York, installed by Beacon Power, and it's super fast, like a centrifuge. It spins like a hard drive, but faster, I think. And it stores kinetic energy. Really, I don't know exactly how they work. I'm not an expert in them, but this is just another potential technology. The other thing I have is compressed air, where you compress air to super high psi, and then at night the compressed air spins a generator. So all the electricity. If we look at natural gas and coal and crude oil, gasoline, whatever, kerosene, whatever heavy oil, ship oil, whatever we're going to burn to turn a generator, right? It's just basically turning the magnets quickly, and that's the electromagnetic field. So that's how much power is in our atmosphere, right? Already, regardless of whatever science someone chose, either round or flat Earth, man. Both of them are the same, telling you the same amount of electricity is in their atmosphere to be harvested. And like Nikola Tesla was saying, hey, he wanted to do free energy, so Thomas Edison bought his company and then destroyed it. Now, I don't necessarily believe in free energy. I think you need the jobs, right? So I think we need cheap bulk energy, and we already have this solar oil field, is what I'll call it, right? For the Beverly Hillbillies to come shoot the shotgun. I was going to put in this video, like, he shoots and the oil comes out. I'm like, hey, Tim, look, there's that oil shooting out of the ground. Ooh, yeah. Texas T. Well, we got Texas S is Texas Solar, right? Texas T was our crude, and Texas S is our solar. Texas N is our natural gas, right? So we've got all these resources. And like I said, you can't really argue with me, especially with getting that fresh water, which we're going to be in shortage of. And we have no shortage of places to pump seawater from, right? Down here at, I think it's called Port Mansfield. That's where I wanted to move, man. I wanted to move down there and fish all day long. And I was going to have the best fish in the world. And Exxon was going to build there, but they blew it off because they have so many excess hydrocarbons here. They're capping all these wells and stuff. They blew off Port Mansfield, but then we make a desalination plant on that bad boy, bring it all up, and because you get the wind, run a wind line here to power it, wind and solar array, and then bring the water back up all over, right? And then crops, man. It's not a super utopian society, but we should make more of a comfortable, enjoyable society. It's for our Constitution preamble, right? To be the happiness, peace and happiness, and well-being of society. So we want cheap bulk power, reliable, cheap bulk power, so that people can have money to go out and buy things and keep the main economy accelerated. They can go buy quality consumer products, houses, motorcycles, and cars and stuff, and improvements. And with the electric bills going up, it's not helping anyone. And even the utility company is not being helped by people being broke, because they're not buying toys that they want to use, or they don't want to burn electricity, right? Everybody's so worried about We gotta conserve electricity. No, we got plenty of electricity to burn to enjoy life, and it's right here in our atmosphere. We just gotta convert it. Right? You could even take water, seawater towers, or bunkers or lake reservoirs, fill them in the day with solar power, and then at night let the water drain down and turn the turbines. So that's another way of generating power at night. Offshore, undersea here in the waves, you can build generators that turn or that push walls. The tidal generators, that's another alternative energy we can have coming in. So we're going to use all of them, including the natural gas and the oil and hydrocarbons and synthetic fuels. So Germany does not have this solar reuse. Germany is all like this down here, this awful right here, and yet they're way ahead of us. So do you want other countries to beat us, man? You know. Plus, we have the silicon. Since Texas Instruments is the birthplace of chips right here, and Texas Instruments is on my resume. Tell you what, I was thinking when I was going to tell you about solar, about when I worked at Texas Instruments. Now, Brooks got closed, so I worked in semiconductor a little while, and then went back to the Air Force. So most of my resume is civil service and contracting for defense, but I worked in a year in the semiconductor. So worked Texas Instruments and Motorola and Austin. Now that's why I said, look, we've got all this education and system for semiconductors, and it also ties into production of now, solar cells. Why don't we utilize that? It's another resource. Brain drain coming in. All these people. We had a guy that did not take a shower. We didn't have any Texas people that knew like doping for some of our semiconductors. A chemical expert. This dude, his religion, he did not take a shower. He stunk, so everyone's holding a nose. And I remember at Texas Instruments, I kept finding in the bathroom on next to the toilet empty deodorants. So this guy, he was not allowed to take a shower like at all for his religion, and he would put deodorant all day long. The poor guy was so sweet and brilliant that they allowed him. But it's like a little story on how those visas come in. And I want my nephew to be a dentist because I don't trust all these technology jobs, right? I'm getting off track a little bit, but you know what I mean. Let's use Texas, right? Let's make them. And I was really disappointed to hear that Mission Solar lost their fabrication facility for the cells, sold it off. But I know in Dallas and other places there's companies like Air Products and stuff. They make some of the silicon and you mentioned the chemicals might be dangerous, but hey, we got to manage that. We do. It's just industry. We've got to be smart about it, and there's jobs involved in it and keeping clean. But once you make the panels, they're very simple. When disposal time comes, you can recycle a lot of the materials, the glass, the aluminum, and even the silicon. So, and the silver in there, nickel. So really, I mean, it's awesome. It's just win-win for us. So please, change your mind on it. I want to sing you a song, right? Come on, Tim Kreitz. I was gonna make Tim Kreitz. When you said you were able to Google it, I'm like, no way, dude. You're not able to Google it. I mean, it would be like me saying I'm gonna Google country music, right? Because I want you guys to subscribe to Tim Kreitz. By the way, a friend of mine, he's a musician, motorcyclist, and I don't know what he does for a living, but it's obviously not solar engineering because he don't like no solar. So please, Tim, from one Texas hillbilly to another, change your mind, get on board, and even get a system there in your house. That's what I would recommend. I was going to sing a song, but I should get my guitar out. Tim Kreitz, come on. Some kind of country song. I'll have to write it later.